Although cryptozoology is not considered a real science, it's based on the sciences of zoology and paleontology. Many cryptids probably don't exist, but there is a high possibility that others do. So in this video we count down 5 cryptids that could exist. The origins of the Tennessee Wildman go way back to the 1800s in Tennessee. One of the stories is that a circus showman somehow captured the beast and put him on display in a cage to where everyone can see him for exploitation until it finally broke free. The description of the Tennessee Wildman is similar in appearance to the Sasquatch, but only more human. He supposedly has either dark grey or ginger hair, is about 7 feet tall and is always accompanied with piercing red eyes. It's known to spout out a disturbing war cry that can frighten anyone that hears it, and has a horrible smell that's familiar to the skunk ape. It's very aggressive in behaviour and could possibly be the archenemy of the Sasquatch. Not surprisingly, the Wildman possesses great strength, agility and speed. There have been many groups of men that went out hunting for the creature, but at all times usually they don't find anything or something traumatizing happens. The monster is known to have a strange targeting obsession with dogs and women. Many women come out and say the Wildman attempted to snatch them up and carry them away. However, it's suspected that these attempts were always unsuccessful. The latest known Wildman sighting took place about 20 years ago near Tennessee. Rob Phillips along with his cousin were on a night hike to Bee Cliffs. Through the rain they noticed something strange in the forest. Everything had become silent. The sound of a snapping twig broke in the silence, followed by a horrible inhuman scream unlike the hikers have ever heard. The men fled separately through the darkened wood, with Philip soon finding safety behind a tree. It wasn't long after that he spotted the Wildman clinging to a nearby tree. This was around 15 feet away from Rob. Rob heard his cousin break through the hill and he followed suit. Philip's account corresponded slightly with the initial tales of the Tennessee Wildman. He was described as about 9 feet tall with red beady eyes, a set of claws and a horrible stink that Phillips compared to the stench of a dead animal. It's unlikely the Tennessee Wildman has lived almost 150 years in the Tennessee mountains. It may be assumed that more than one of these creatures exists, or could the creature sighting in the Bee Cliffs area be something else entirely? An Aswang is a cryptid in Filipino folklore. The Aswang is an evil werewolf and vampire-like creature, and is the subject of a wide variety of myths and stories. Spanish colonists noted that the Aswang was the most feared among the mythical creatures of the Philippines. The myth of the Aswang is well known throughout the Philippines. It's especially popular in the western Visayan regions. Aswang stories and definitions vary greatly from region to region and person to person, and no particular set of characteristics can be ascribed to the term. The wide variety of descriptions in the Aswang stories makes it difficult to settle upon a fixed description of Aswang appearances or activities. However, several common themes that alter Aswangs from other mythological creatures do emerge. Aswangs are shapeshifters. Stories recount Aswangs living as regular townspeople. As regular townspeople, they are quiet, shy and elusive. At night they transform into creatures such as a cat, pig, bird or most often a dog. It's said that they enjoy eating small animals. Some are so thin they can hide themselves behind a bamboo post. They are fast and silent. Some also make noises. Like the tick-tick. The name was derived from the sound it produces. They may also replicate their live victims with clones made from tree trunk or other plant materials. An Aswang will also have bloodshot eyes, the result of staying up all night. The Bandage Man is a cryptid or ghost purported to be seen near Cannon Beach, Oregon. The Bandage Man appears on the short approach road connecting US Highway 101 to Cannon Beach, between the town and where Highway 26 intersects with 101. He is always reported to be covered in bloody bandages, as well as emitting a horrible stench. Occasionally the spirit's limbs appear to jut out at bizarre angles. He is rumoured to be the ghost of a logger who died in a sawmill accident. The Bandage Man appears to haunt one particular stretch of road, attempting to grab and latch onto any stationary or slow-moving vehicles, especially trucks and open-roof cars. The Phantom will often attack the drivers, sometimes breaking glass windows, leaving it broken well after it's disappeared. It will remain on the car, disappearing only right before the car reaches the town of Cannon Beach. The Bandage Man is also said to sometimes attack dogs and cats. That particular road was a popular destination for teenage couples to make out. In 1960, an unnamed couple arrived in the area frequented by the Bandage Man. While they were talking, they noticed the car was rocking back and forth. They looked up and saw what appeared to be a man, completely covered in bloodstained bandages. He was latched onto the back of their truck, staring at them and slamming his fist against the window. Terrified, they drove off with the man still pounding at the back window of the pickup truck. However, when they stopped, he was nowhere to be seen. Since then, people have reported to see the Bandage Man when driving on the decommissioned road. The Grunch Road Monster is an alleged chupacabra sighting in New Orleans. The Grunch is described to be an elaborate cross between the canid and reptilian chupacabras. New Orleans residents have so named the creature the Grunch, but sightings and tales, unlike its cousins, seem to go back further into Louisiana history than any other areas of the world. The Grunch story supposedly goes back to the Crescent City's early roots. New Orleans was founded on August the 25th, 1718, by the French Mississippi Company. The earliest reports of the creature are said by locals to date to this period. The real Grunch Road was located in a remote part of eastern New Orleans near the community of Little Woods. Most people only ever encountered Grunch Road by accident. A dead end of scant shales and sand, sheltered by overgrown woods and great tall water oaks. It's led into the ferny darkness of the major town highway of Haine Boulevard. From ghastly goat people and several ghosts of who only knows what. Stories of floating lights and strange cries in the night continue to this day. Photos of a creature alleged to be the Grunch have surfaced over recent years, keeping the legend of the Grunch Road alive to this day. The Pennsylvania white Bigfoot was first sighted in Blakesley, Pennsylvania in 1970. According to an eyewitness, the creature she saw in 1970 stood between 6 and 7 feet tall, with a broad chest, a long neck and a coat of white fur. The witness went on to describe its face. Its eyes were dark and spaced far apart. Its white hair covered the lower half of its face. There was pinkish skin around the eyes and forehead. It looked like its hair was longer on its head, and hanging over its forehead like bangs. On September the 27th, 1973, two girls were standing outside Beaver County, Pennsylvania at 9:30 p.m. when an 8-foot-tall being covered with white fur and red glowing eyes ran into the woods nearby. The humanoid was carrying a large glowing orb in its hand. The girls ran off hysterically into the house. The father of one of the girls went into the woods in search of the creature and stayed there for over an hour. That same year, a glowing orb lands near Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and two Bigfoot creatures are observed in the pasture at the same time. A woman fires her shotgun at a Bigfoot creature only a few feet away, and it disappears out of sight. At about the same time, a luminous object hovers over the nearby woods. One of the best Bigfoot videos is the Pennsylvania White Bigfoot clip, which was taken in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. For many years, the residents of Carbondale have reported some bizarre sightings of a white Bigfoot. In July of 2008, a local news station in Pennsylvania ran a story which talked about the white creature after receiving an anonymous email. It was said to be some sort of animal about 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in all white fur. In 2010, people began to report sightings of a white juvenile Bigfoot in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. Homeowners began to hear strange noises and disturbances in the woods. In one case, an unidentified man witnessed movement in his backyard and was able to capture some bizarre video footage. For one full second, the man filmed a large white creature that resembled the shape of a Bigfoot. In the footage, as the man's camera hits the creature's face, it quickly moves away. Over the internet, the clip is said to display some bizarre factors. For starters, the animal's body proportions are extremely large, which is not easily faked. The creature holds a defined brow ridge, coned head and hooded nose. The shoulders are extremely high and the arms are long. The object is fast and mobile. The creature has white fur on its head and small ears. Most importantly, the video shows the object's face contorting as it runs away, which suggests that it may not be a mask. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more countdown videos.